G'day humans, Chris Stead from Finder here. I'm on the road today. I'm at Thredbo up in the Kosciuszko National Park in the Snowy Mountains of New South Wales. Now today I've got an interesting test. I've got my three sprogs here, Charlie, Jasmine and Paddy, 11, 9, 6.5. And these guys have never snowboarded or skied before. So part of my experiment on this trip is to see what your investment in ski lessons and snowboard lessons can actually do for your kid, because they're quite pricey. It's $140 a day to do each of the lessons. So they're going to do 3 days of lessons. We're going to see how much these guys can upgrade themselves and level up from complete newbies to hopefully coming down the hill with me way up there at the end of the week. That's the goal, that's the hope. But we'll see how we go, eh? Luckily we've got some really good weather today. Now, this one's doing Freeriders on snowboarding, this one's doing freeriding on skiing, and the young bloke here is doing Burton Riglets, which is for kids 5 and 6. So we'll see how that goes, okay? Now, kids, let me ask you a quick question. Thanks a lot, guys. What do you reckon? What are you excited about?
I'm excited for doing. I want to learn to get, be better on turning. Turning
a big focus for you. What about you, Jazzy?
I want to have fun.
You just want to have fun? That's a great idea. And Paddy, what do you reckon? What are you most excited about?
Have fun.
Have fun. Well, let's see if we can have some fun. Okay, guys, we'll get back in touch at the end of this and see how they've gone. All right, so we've just distributed the kids to their 3 things. The Burton Riglets, they go into this hut behind you, but the Freeriders, you can see over here, they get passed off to the instructors behind the main lift that goes up the hill. So just initial thoughts on that. The process is really clean and quick. They just scan your lift pass, and that's all booked in and you just walk straight in. The thing you just need to know is that parents don't go past the gate you can see there to where the kids muster. So if you are hoping to hang out in the queue and kind of G your kid up and make sure they introduce themselves to the other kids, that type of thing, you don't get a chance to do that. So it's a little bit more difficult, I guess, for the younger kids. My 11-year-old, he just walked straight off in front of me. He's probably already coming down the hill. My 9-year-old, however, a bit sad, a couple of tears, a bit nervous. The nerves got the better of her for a bit. We couldn't quite walk her in. So that might be, I don't know, maybe it's good kind of cold turkey like that, but that's just something to consider. So maybe prepare your kids for that fact before you get here, that you are going to pass them through a gate and they're going to be with the instructor from then for the rest of the day. So the sun is setting on the first day, and Jazzy and me just went from the chairlift all the way down the hill together after the first day skiing. Tell me about it, how was it?
Fun.
Yeah, did you make any friends?
Yes.
Did you go better than you think you would?
Yes.
Are you proud of yourself?
Yes.
Yeah, and what was the best bit?
That.
Just then, going down from the chairlift?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you excited about tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
All right, well that's a tick of approval. Good start. And here comes Charlie, number 1, after his first day of lessons. Just come down from the chairlift. How you going there, Charlie? Oh, you! We're waiting for Mum to come back. Hey, what did you think of the lesson?
It was awesome.
Yeah? What was the best bit?
Probably when she showed us the jump and we tried to do 180s off it.
Yeah?
It was really fun. We also thought we had a turn and pick it up practically. Really fun.
Yeah, so you think it was worth doing?
Yeah, really worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you just went down by yourself. You're confident you might get up further up the hill by the end of the week?
Yeah, I think. I just gotta work on the steeper hills and getting my stopping.
You fell. Hey mate, I'm glad you had a good time.
It was awesome.
Okay, so a bit of an update. We're now seeing it's now the evening of day 2, so the kids have now done 2 days of lessons. I am personally extremely tired and buggered after hitting the slopes for 2 straight days. I guess that's something we have to talk about, is that you're definitely paying for a daycare option here as much as anything else. So the kids have been in these classes from 9 to 3:45, and I've just been blasting them out the entire time. So I've had a really good time, but most importantly so have the kids. So on the end of the first day, you know, I came back, I really didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if I was going to get tears or anger or just complete utter tiredness and all the usual drama. However, they were all really excited, they all had a really good time. There'd been obviously big improvements. Both my oldest son and my daughter had stepped up 3 classes, they break the classes up into multiple tiers so that you kind of with people of basic levels. It depends on whether you can do a turn and a stop and those types of things. So they were at level 3 by the end of the first day. And my youngest son, he had gone up to level 2 on the first day. And that was enough for us to kind of catch the little chairlift and Friday flats up together and just kind of go down nice and slow and kind of holding hands and holding them up and everything like that. So my son, he was just kind of, my oldest son, he was just kind of going down and on his own doing turns, pretty confident. He was already trying to pick things up, telling me about, I saw him do a 180, you know, doing some jumps and stuff like that. So he was already quite getting into it. My daughter was kind of, you know, she's on skis, she was doing the pizza, they call them now, and not really turning, but had enough, you know, I had to fight with her to get on to come on a little chairlift with me, but she did it. And my youngest, he was kind of like just hands on the ground the entire time, just doing 360s and turns, but going down, he had the confidence to go down with their speed. So that was the end of day 1. Took them off to day 2, they were all excited, they went straight into their classes more or less without problem, raring to go. I took off up the mountain. It was a much more blizzardy day, so a lot colder, a lot more wet for them. So I didn't know how it was going to turn out again. When I got down to pick them up the afternoon, the step up had been dramatic again. Like my daughter, the first thing I did was put all 3 of them on a chairlift, so the 4 of us went up a chairlift together. And just a little one on Friday flats, it's not a big thing. And when we got to the top, my oldest, he took straight off to a jump and disappeared. My daughter, who I had to hold her hands to go down the day beforehand, I turned around and she was gone, straight down the hill. She was off. And then my youngest, who the coach, the teacher had said, hey, he's got to work on his heels turns. So we talked about heel turns a little bit, and then he started going down, doing some sprays, a couple of spins, started to link some turns together, some S's and everything like that. I was like, oh wow. Then I got to my son and said, well, why don't we go right up the mountain? And he goes, yeah. So we taught the last chairlift up, like last person on the chairlift got right at the top, and then took a blue run, which is kind of the medium tier run. We were going to take a green run, but they were already closed for the day, and went all the way down from the top on high noon, if anyone knows Thredbo, all the way back down to the bottom. And he took it in stride, like he did really, really well. So, you know, a goal for me at the start of this process was that I could go to the top of the mountain with my kids and ride down with them, at least my oldest and hopefully my daughter as well. And already I've done that with my son on day 2, and my daughter has already been up to merits, which is the high things in her class with her classmates. So I'm really confident I'll be able to do that on the end of day 3. And then on day 4, which is the day after our lessons finish, I think we will actually be boarding and skiing together. So, so far so good. I did talk to my wife about this on the drive back, and I was just saying to, you know, I just don't think we would have got anywhere near this kind of progress if it was just us doing it. I think there would have just been fights and tears and anger. If you're a parent, you probably know that sometimes it's just good to hear it from someone else. But yeah, so far I've got to say, definitely trending better than what I expected. So we'll see how things go on day 3. But so far so good.
So the sun is setting on our 5-day adventure down here at Thredbo. 3 days at the start there where all the kids were in their lessons. And if you recall at the start of this video, I said, oh, my goal is that I'll be able to take my son up to the very top there, and we did it on day 4. And went up there in a blizzard and came down a black diamond, and he handled it fine, went the whole entire way all the way down. Since then I've taken both my daughter and my youngest son, who was in the Riglets, up to Merritts. My daughter also went down High Noon, which is a blue run, so medium level run. And my youngest, he went down Walkabout, and that's a green run going down from Merritt. So up on a big chairlift, up to the top of the hill and down again after 3 days of lessons. So that's pretty much exceeded, or it's definitely exceeded my expectations. Like when I thought to myself, wouldn't it be great if I could go down there with my son at the end of all this? I really didn't think we'd actually get there. But 3 days of lessons, I don't know if that's the sweet spot. Obviously everyone's kids are going to have different levels. Some are going to be faster, some are going to be slower. Some are going to be just like my children. But I think as an investment to go, you know what, I don't know if we'll ever do lessons again, whether from now on they just kind of self-teach. But as you go through those 3 days, there was definitely progression. And I don't think if we'd done those 3 days that we would have got to that point of being able to go up to the top of the hill on the 4th day, making the most of it. So with that all in mind, if you've got the ability to make that investment and spend that amount on a child having 3 days of lessons, from my experience, you're absolutely going to get your value out of it, because I was able to experience snowboarding from the top of the hill down to the bottom with all 3 of my children after those 3 days of lessons. Pretty good if you ask me. Anyway, I'm Chris Stead from Finder. Thanks very much for watching. Until next time, I'm back on the road.